Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you'd like to join my Patreon, I will have the link in the description below. Thank you. So here today we have Ethan Van Sciver, and he is putting out images of his Cyberfrog action figure. I have previously done a video on Ethan's Cyberfrog figure of Heather Swain. So this is brilliant stuff to see the titular character himself, Cyberfrog, is going to be making an appearance in his action figure line. So Ethan says it will come with an alternate head and a chicken bucket. Of course, I'm looking for pre-orders very soon, and I like how this is looking. So we're going to get into the figure itself, and we're going to talk about it. Personally, I think this looks absolutely stunning, and it is a character that I think translates very, very well to action figure form. I love the paint on it, and I love that it's a shiny silver. That looks really, really nice, and I love the metallic green on it. This metallic green goes nicely against the kind of white frog skin, and this blue and yellow looks absolutely fantastic. The eyes look absolutely outstanding in that they have patterns of orange within the yellow. I think that looks absolutely stunning, and I hope when this comes out that it will look exactly like this. This will be a absolutely brilliant figure. I'm a big fan of how the sculpt is working. Look at that spine with the silver rod going up the back of it, and then you have the lovely detail of the frog skin within it. We have lovely pieces as well too here for Cyberfrog's armature, and I think that looks really, really nice. So when we come down and we look at the alternate head, we have a grimacing face, and I think this face looks absolutely brilliant. He looks super angry. I can foresee Ethan doing a frog with a tongue out face soon. I think that that would be a very good idea, and it would be akin to sort of X-Men's Toad. I think that would be a good idea now. Now, I know Ethan has said in the past that he doesn't want to see Cyberfrog appear like Venom, and I think that's a very good idea. So his tongue is going to be like a whiplash type of idea. Looking at the articulation, and I'm going to break down the articulation in a few minutes, but I like it, but I do think that there are some things that need to be improved on, considering that this is a character that is very, very gymnastic, I suppose, inspired with the fact that he can get into very different poses. I like this figure though, I have to say, and I hate to criticize anything that is just making its way out there. And as I said, I'm a big fan of Ethan's, and I'm a big fan of this character. But I suppose when you're looking at an action figure point, and Ethan is putting these images out to see what people think, I think there are a couple of things that could be improved on and hopefully can be. Now I'm very, very aware that Ethan is using the money to make these action figures however he's doing. So this is actually going to eat into his profits. So obviously I'm very appreciative of the fact that we're even getting any action figures, but I absolutely love this. I think this looks great. I would like small things changed on it, and I think I'm going to talk about them now. So here we have basically a blown apart version of Cyberfrog, and this is Cyberfrog here with the head sculpt, and then we have the body. Now, if it was me, and again this is if it was me, I'm going to trust Ethan's judgment on this one. I think a ball joint in the head is very necessary. So we see that it kind of pegs into the body similarly to a statue. So I would love to see that being a ball joint there, so that you could move the head around, you could cock it to the left or the right, it can move up and down, it can look down, you can have some very dramatic poses with the head, I think, if it was a ball joint in the neck. Now if I was going to do it, I would do a dumbbell joint similar to what they've done with some of the more recent McFarlane figures, I think, where there's a dumbbell down here. So a big dumbbell down here, and you have it coming up, and there's a smaller dumbbell. Now the reason why I say a smaller dumbbell, so a smaller ball at the top here and a bigger ball at the bottom. The smaller ball up here will allow more range in the head, so that would be a good idea, I think, in my opinion. Coming on to the arms, I think what I would love here is a ball joint in the arm, which means that could have serious rotation, it can move in and out. Obviously it's on a hinge at the moment, but I think with a ball joint it could look really, really good. I'd say have the ball joint in here and have the ball joint in there. Now that could affect the sculpt a little bit, and I suppose that that's probably the takeaway that you could have from that. Next we come down to the torso. I love the torso articulation that's going to be able to crunch. Now I would look at some of the G.I. Joe figures if I was Ethan, and the fact that they can swing from side to side, particularly here. So basically there's a torso cut kind of along here that can make it move, and then along here then shifts from left to right, then it sort of comes around there. I'm loving the fact that they're ball joints here in the hips. I think this is a brilliant idea. This is a fantastic idea. Uh, the arms look like they're single joint elbows, and I suppose with the type of design that's in it, that's to be expected. Double elbows would be absolutely beautiful, but I suppose I'm being greedy when I'm looking for that. We see Cyberfrog has different pairs of hands as well too. We fisted hands, a kind of gripping hand, and then an open sort of hand, which looks really nice. Coming on down here, it looks like that we'll have double knees again, like header swing, which is a great idea. And I love the way it's a big kneecap that it will hide that articulation somewhat. I think that's a great idea. And then we have the feet. Now, the only thing with the feet is that I would say that should possibly be on a rocker. Now, again, like I'm going to say, I don't want to criticize these things, but if you're going to have an ultimate articulated Cyberfrog, this is what I would do. If I was going to do this, I think what would be a good idea for Ethan would be to do this one, and then maybe later on down the line make a hyper articulated Cyberfrog with the things that I'm saying. I think that, like, I am going to say that this is his first attempt with toys, and I have to say he's doing a stellar job, even including alternate heads and alternate hands and accessories as well too. Like, I will say that he is doing an outstanding job. But yeah, I would like to see that swiveling from, I suppose, left to right, which would be give you more options for Cyberfrog to crouch into different poses. I think that would be a good idea. Here we're looking at the back view, so it looks pretty nice. I think the back looks absolutely outstanding. I love the sculpt work on this. The sculpt work looks really nice. But again, like I'm saying, I think the articulation just needs a little bit more for it to be hyper articulated. But like I said, it's going to be, some people will love it. Sort of limited articulation in some ways, and other people would love to have him in a crouching pose with his feet splayed out. His feet are definitely big enough to do that sort of idea, in my opinion. Now, I will say that there is articulation here, and there is articulation here, so I suppose you would be able to do different poses with him anyway without having to go near the feet. I suppose it would be a more stable thing to do. Last but not least, Ethan then showed this image. So he said he's going to be working on a 14-inch Salamandroid. I'm hyped for this guy. I think I'm hyped for this lion. I can't wait to get Heather Swain. I cannot wait to get Cyberfrog. I think it looks outstanding. The sculpt looks beautiful. The paintwork looks beautiful. And the fact that we're getting a Cyberfrog action figure in the 6-inch line, I think is wonderful. I cannot wait to see that. Salamandroid is a character that I really like, and it has an absolutely awesome look to him. I think that this one could be a big seller as well too, along with the other two characters of Cyberfrog and Heather Swain. If I was going to say one thing about Salamandroid, it would be if he gets an alternate head. Obviously, I would love to have the ball joint in the head, and same thing like a dumbbell joint. I would love an alternate head where he can open his mouth and he can have his fire shooting from that mouth, whether it's a plug-in piece or whether it's something that we as fans could add on then to it, so that wouldn't drive up the price too much. I'm thinking of something like a fire piece, maybe like what McFarlane did with a Game of Thrones Dragons. That would be a really cool idea. I think that you could have that kind of spraying out of his mouth, which would look absolutely awesome. I'm really looking forward to this figure. Like I said, I'm pretty hyped to see this guy coming along, and obviously we have the chicken fry here. We have the chicken fry bucket, which looks really nicely detailed as well. I'm very hyped to see this character in action figure format. I hope that maybe that these kind of slight criticisms are taken on board. I can understand that this is the way it might look. As an artist as well too, you want your figure to look like your art, which is perfect. And I can understand the fact that some designs do require different things to look around and have them, I suppose, altered a little bit. This looks fantastic though. I'm absolutely hyped for this figure. I'm hyped for Heather Swain. I'm hyped for Salamandroid, and I cannot wait for the pre-orders to go up. Do you know what? I'm absolutely sick of Ethan teasing us and not telling us when the pre-orders are going to go up. So I hope he tells us soon when the pre-orders will go up for this guy, because I cannot wait to put my pre-order in for this guy and be a day one pre-order on it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure you like the video, make sure you share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and like I said at the start, if you'd like to join my Patreon page, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'd really appreciate that. Best of luck to Ethan in the future. I think this looks great. I'm very excited to see what he has coming next, and the Vispas as well too that are going to come along eventually. I think could be absolutely outstanding also, and we would have a beautiful line of figures that would be I suppose, a collector's item. I would love to get two, have one in the box. I cannot wait to see what the art looks like on the box. I can't wait to see what the boxes look like for these guys, because this is another point that I think Ethan is going to absolutely excel on, particularly because he's such a brilliant artist as well. I'm going to leave it there. Good luck.